Hello, my name is Glenn Keller and I'm here to help you understand how to make a circle graph. First of all, to understand this topic, you need to know that there are 360 degrees in a circle. So if I start at a point up top, I'll go all the way around, that's 360 degrees. You also need to understand the number system. So what we have taken before, where we have place values going across, we'll put a decimal there, this place value is ones, this one is tens, but to the right of the decimal, the first value is tenths, the next value is hundredths, and the one after that is thousandths, and so on. Next one is 10,000ths. And that's the first thing you need to know. So for this unit, to understand the concept of percentages, the first two places are hundredths. So we take these two here, it is out of 100. Okay. Circle graph is a method of comparing the proportions of an entire object. If we have 50 students and 25 are boys and 25 are girls, we can show the comparison by drawing a line down the center. Because the entire circle equals to 50, half would be boys, and the other half would be girls. Or 50% boys, 50% girls. With a circle graph, everything is compared to 360 degrees because that is how many degrees are in a circle. So, for example, a question could read, if there are 295 medals handed out at the Sochi Olympic Games, compare on a circle graph the medal count for each country. To answer this, we would find the equivalent number of degrees to the number of medals. We can do this by finding the decimal and multiplying it by 360. So for example, Russia had 33 medals in total. There are 295 medals in all. So to find the percent of number of medals that Russia had, we would divide 33 divided by 295, and we get 0.11. So 11% of the medals were won by Russia. Now our next problem is to take that 11% or 0.11 and turn that into a degrees. So if there are 360 degrees, 11% of 360 degrees is 0.11 times 360. Our handy calculator shows us 360 times 0.11 equals 39.6 degrees, so about 39.5 degrees. Next, we need to draw our line from our 0 to the center. So I'm going to try to move the protractor off here. Move that off. Get my line. Move it from 0 to center. So that's my center. We said 39.6 degrees was about there. So that would be our Russia component. So I'm just going to put R there just to keep things in order. The next team on the medal count was USA. They had 28 medals. So to go through the same process, there's 295 medals. 28 was owned by Russia. In our calculator, we go 28 divided by 295, and that gives us a decimal of 0.09. So we take that 0.09 and times it by 360, and that will give us how many degrees. So at 0.09 times 360 gives me 32 degrees. Taking my protractor again, just got to lower it a bit here. I'm going to place the line along our existing line there, the base. So we need to line up everything there. Okay, so you can see here I have the crosshairs in the center and I have the line on 0. Those are two things that have to be lined up before you can proceed. We said it was 32 degrees. So I count 32 degrees. So we have 10, 20, 32. So it'll be about in that area there. Again, move my protractor out. I draw my line to the center. And that was USA. The next team was Norway. Norway had 26 medals. There were 295 that were handed out. We go 26 divided by 295 gives me 0.08. Times that by 360 gives me 31 degrees. 31.7, I believe. So again, I take my protractor, I line it up, I get my crosshairs in the center, I rotate, put my 0 on the line, and I go another 31 degrees. So 10, 20, 31. Move my protractor off, draw my line, and that was Norway. Canada came in the fourth in the total medal count. They had 25 medals out of the 295 that were handed out. My calculator, 25 divided by 295 equals that. Times that by 360 gives me 30.5 degrees. So again, I line up my center, I rotate my protractor across, make an adjustment here or there, and I need to go and measure 30.5 degrees. My 0 is a little bit off. I'm just going to fix that. There we go. So that would give me 10, 20, no, 30 there. Move my protractor off. Continue on. That's Canada. So I would continue to do this with the rest of the countries. Well, welcome back. I completed the rest of the countries, and you can see where Russia had a huge medal count here, 33 out of the 295. And you can see how it compares to all the other countries that are involved in the Olympic Games. And after the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 countries, everyone else got, it actually was 100 degrees with, so about a third of the medals, a little less than a third of the medals, or the rest of the countries. The other other 12 countries here received 2/3 of the medals, approximately, a little more than 2/3. So the last part of this workshop is going to the next slide here, boys versus girls. Working with the percent is a little easier. We have 360 degrees as before, but it's compared always with 100%. For example, in our class there are 23 students. There are 11 boys and 12 girls. Using a calculator, we can go 11 divided, that's 11 boys divided by 23, the total number, that gives me 47.8%. For the number of girls, taking the calculator again, we have 12 girls divided by 23 in total in the class. That gives me 52.1%. You can see I just took the first two decimal places of the number. Now, you can see here, if we add these two up, we're going to be 1% short, so you have to decide where you want to add that. I'm going to add that to the girls. So 52.2. Now to do that, 52%. So again, we can take our calculator. It's 360 degrees in the circle. 47.8 degrees, that's 0.478. Again, taking the first two digits plus the third. So we have times 0.478 gives me 172 degrees. So on my calculator, or on my protractor, I get my 0 here, and I go 172 degrees. So I go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, and 2 right there. Again, I join that line to the circle, and voila, and I start my start line. Move that down just a little bit. Kind of somewhat meet there. There's my circle. This is boys. This is girls. So you can see on the graph that the girls have slightly more than the boys do. This program doesn't allow me to color, but what I would typically do in a bar graph, I would color in these parts to give them the appropriate, just to help them show off a little bit differently or contrast. I also would write, take my girls for example, and would write 52.2%, and maybe draw a line like so, should be straight, a straight line, and we have 47.8%. And I can move my boys out of there. There we go. Okay. Using rulers, using proper coloring, lines, mathematics, all put in to make a nice picture. And that's the basics of making a circle graph.